Hey everyone, I'm in FIFA 22 and here I'm going to show you how to change player position in the game for FIFA Ultimate Team. I've got my formation here. I've just got a very standard 4-4-2, left midfield, centre midfield, right midfielder. And sometimes what you can have is you may get another player and you go, oh, I wish I could put them in nice position. So for example, I've got Di Maria here, 87 rated player that I got in a pack. Now he's not got great chemistry style, but he is pretty cool, and you know, maybe he would be quite nice to have in the team. You go, maybe. So I could chuck him in here, but he's playing out of position, and you can see there I get a little bit of a he can kind of play there, but he's not quite right because he's a right winger position at the minute, and I'm putting him in the right midfielder position. So he's close, but he's not quite there. So what you may find is you get a bit of a sort of downer on this. So if we right stick in and have a little look at his attributes here, you can see we're getting some minuses because he's playing out of position. I think if we try and chuck him somewhere even worse, like here, you'll see the position, the attribute details drop again. So it's generally not a good idea to put your players out of position because they don't play as well. So what we were talking about though is, well, can I fix that? Can I change the position? Can I do something that's more useful to my team? And yes, my friends, you can. So what you can do is you can either search for it directly in here by clicking Actions and then go Apply Consumable. So Actions on the Xbox was X. I'm going a bit fast there. If you're not sure what it is on your platform, down the bottom of your screen, see mine is X Actions. It might be square or something on the PlayStation. But anyway, we'll go into here and then go into Apply Consumable and then right button over, or whatever it is on the left hand side, just to the left as suggested. You should have some different buttons if it's not right button for you. And then it'll say under positioning, you need to go to the transfer market, my friends. And then what you've got to be careful of here is you may not get the right match. So this is actually showing the right ones for me, which is good. But I did jump into it once and it was going the wrong way round and it was showing me stuff that wasn't right. And we're also not sure, well, how much should I spend on this? You know, there's loads of stuff here. So what I generally recommend is thinking, cool, I can definitely move him to where I want him to be. I want him to be a right midfielder, but I don't know how much that should really cost me. So what's the best price I can get that position modifier for? So what I'm going to do is back out of here and we're going to go to the full transfer market. So back right the way out to the home page of FIFA Ultimate Team. And then here you want to go to transfers and go to the transfer market. And this gives you access to the consumable section as well as players. So there's players. I've just left sticked up to consumables. And then I'm going to consumable type and you want to be on position modifier. Now, if you know the position modifier you want, you can go to position modifier here. And I put this similar movie up for FIFA 21 and people go, well, I want to take a left midfielder and put them on the right. You can't do that. So if you go through here, it's basically left-sided. You can move right-sided. You can move to another right position, and central ones up and down. But you cannot go, like a centre to a left midfielder or stuff like that. So if you scroll through these, you'll see all of the different options. There's not loads, so we've got there. There's another one there that I'm interested in. I've got centre forward, but my position is striker, so that would help there. You can see you can take a centre forward and put them as a centre attacking midfielder, centre mid to a centre defensive midfielder, centre defensive to centre mid, centre attacking to centre mid. All these ones here. I forgot my word. So we were going to go right. It was right winger, wasn't it? Right winger to right midfielder is what we wanted for Di Maria. So that's what we're going to search for. So when I'm happy with that, I'll just press A to come back out of there. And what I like to do now is think about the buy it now. So first of all, let's do a quick search. So hit Y to search. 15 seconds to go, 1100. There's one there starting. Current bid is 800 with 22 seconds to go. So that may be the cheapest we go for. What I'm going to do is put in a bid on there. And I'm going to go 850, yes, bid. If you do, I've been outbid. Let's go again, actions. 900? I can't tell if that's me bidding or someone else. Oh, someone else is going for it. So it looks like 1300 looks about reasonable for it, but you might be able to get it cheaper. And the way I tend to do this, if I go back one, is I go to the max buy now and just rather than mess around with bids, because you can see this is quite in demand, this position. So let's put the max buy now at 1100. and then press B to come back out of there, and then Y to search. And then you can see actually all of these ones here at 1100. So there's loads listed there. So let's go back again and tweak it down a bit. So let's see if we get something at 950 and search that. And indeed we can. So I can pay the amount I want without having to wait for the auction. So I'm going to go with that one there and go, do you know what? That's the going rate for it. So we will buy it. So I can now continue searching or assign now. But I'm going to assign now because you get the idea. You can just search to your heart's content. Confirm the items. So that was right trigger on my one. If it was different for you, show down the bottom left again. And you can see there, cool, I've got one and it cost me 950. So I come back out. So I'm hitting B to go back out into the squad with holding left stick down. And we will go and find Di Maria. Where is he? There he is. So remember his attributes. So I'll just right stick, so -2 on everything because he's a little bit out of position. And then we're going to actions. And you can see now it says recommended consumable position modifier is there, or I can go in here and see it. So if I go into apply consumables, you can see now under positioning, I've got this option here, this position modifier right where that's the only one I own. If I had more, it would show kind of like a pack like we've got on the chemistry styles here. If you're confused about chemistry styles, I've got a tutorial on it, by the way. Anyway, so we apply this, and Di Maria will now change to a right midfielder, and he is done. He is done, my friends. So although he's still out of there's no good chemistry link between him, we now get rid of those -2s and we get some pluses instead because he's in the right position. So it's not a massive change, but it does get rid of that downward thing, and you can do quite big moves. Let's say you can move towards defense or attack or whatever. But at least now when I bring him on, he's not going to get a negative for being out of position. And you can do that with anything. So remember, you can go more central, so you can take a striker down to attacking midfielder in the centre, but you cannot take a left one and move them to centre, or a right one and move them to centre, or a right to a left. That's not possible. Okay, so it's limited, but hopefully that helps you figure out how you change the position of a player and get them so they're more useful to your team. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments, very welcome. Let me know who you like changing position of. One last thing I want to point out is do be careful when you're buying players, because sometimes you'll buy a player by name and assume he will be in a certain position, but as you can see here, the position can vary. So I got caught out there once when I was trying to buy, I think it was a right back, I think it was Reece James, right back or left back, I can't remember which, and I'd searched by the player name and then bought him, and then realised somebody had changed him to a different position. I think he was a wing back or something, and it didn't quite fit my formation. So do keep an eye out for that you'll sometimes see a player, a bit like we see with Firmino here, that he's currently in my team as a centre mid, but obviously some people will have him as a attacking midfielder or a striker. So just bear that in mind when you're buying players, that that position can vary. And of course, if I listed Di Maria now, I don't think I could sell him. I think he's untradeable. But if he was tradable, he would be going up as a right midfielder as opposed to what he was before, which was a right winger, and that might not suit somebody who's buying him, and they may not even find him if they're searching for a right winger. I hope that makes sense. If it does, let me know in the comments. And thanks very much for watching. If you like this sort of stuff, have a little look at the rest of my channel. There's all sorts of tutorials on here about FIFA 22. Hopefully some useful stuff to you. If so, please subscribe. Thanks so much for your support.